supported collection of the clerks of the court. And these are the different clerks of the court, all right? To access the Supreme Court, you got to file papers with the clerk, all right? And what I'm filing is the indigent packet with the Supreme Court. I am Dred Scott. I'm going to show how Dred Scott and Wainwright work together, and I'm going to show how accessing the grand jury for black people in America will work. And here it is. I was filming a movie and a documentary about racism in the judicial system. A documentary. All right, that's Barbara Mikulski, and that's from 2009. And that's the toilet. I got it inside the Supreme Court. And inside the toilet are tapes, SD cards. Like I said, it was a movie and a documentary. And that's covered under the Constitution under intellectual property. All right? Under intellectual property. And like I said, this is the court of the clerk. And the clerk has access in the courts. So I got information with Judge Cox at Baltimore County asking for a grand jury about this issue of my property. All right, I'm asking the grand jury to give me my property back, to bring the officials to be held accountable for what they was doing and what's been done. And I got to approach it through the courts. All right, I'm an indigent. I'm homeless. So I can't be denied access to the court because I don't have any financial abilities to proceed with a lawyer. All right, that's what the law says. And this is the law right here. The right of a handwritten petition to Gideon, 1963. All right, the manner of pauper in a case in which the petitioner is unable to provide funds needed to file a petition to the clerk of the court. All right. So under Wainwright, I'm going to file my case. I'm going to have my property returned to me. And I'm going to have the Department of Justice admit everything that they know. Rod Rosenstein has this paperwork. Rod Rosenstein has been blocking an investigation for the longest. That's the Department of Justice. All right? Ronald Davis. The White House asked for an investigation. President Obama. And that's when he asked for the investigation. It's about the prison industry. I am Dred Scott. You changed slavery and the mass incarceration to the prison industry in the modern day time. All of this information is going to be turned over to the clerk of the court to be submitted to the Supreme Court so I can get a hearing in front of the Supreme Court. That's the material with Chief Judge Cox, Administrative Judge, all right, asking for a grand jury and asking for my information. I'm going to submit that information to the clerk of the court for the Supreme Court and as a petition of it, all right, to petition my government to address the issues, all right. This is the Constitution, and all I'm doing is using your laws to protect my rights, all right. Admitting attorneys. I can get admitted to the bar. I can represent myself. I can represent myself in court. Dred Scott. Use the laws that are on the books to protect my rights. It's the office of the clerk. And that's the material filed with Judge Cox in Baltimore County. And this is to prove that I asked for an audit because to proceed as a pauper, I have to have an audit. I have to prove I have no money. So I'm asking the state of Maryland, the comptroller, to audit me. I need him to audit me, Jake's Grill, James Hammond, Bank of America, SunTrust Bank, because I want to show I'm broke. I want to show that I'm in debt so I can approach the Supreme Court as an indigent. And he got this in 2016. It's certified. Like I said, these are packets to approach the Supreme Court. This one goes to Governor Hogan. One goes to Miller. One goes to Bush. One goes to Judge Cox. And one gonna go to President Trump. I'm gonna approach the Supreme Court as an indigent to address mass incarceration in the prison industry. I've stayed true to this. I ain't new to this. I'm gonna walk you every step of the way. Got 10 years in 10 years making this happen. So now we're gonna settle it in court where it all started, in court. I am Dred Scott. I'm gonna ask my senators, my congressmen, my president to address this issue of mass incarceration, to address my illegal incarceration, to address my kidnapping, selling me into bondage, revenue off of my time I was incarcerated, 186 days in Illinois, 85 in Maryland. How much did the state reap off of my job? How much did the state benefit from me and being incarcerated? I'm out $2.6 million. We're talking about identity theft, income tax evasion. We're talking about a lot of things. And we're asking the comptroller, Francott, to give me an audit to my store on Falls Road in Cockeysville, identity theft. All these things factor into me submitting my material to the grand jury. Also going to go to the University of Maryland and the University of Baltimore and American University and ask for law students to represent me. I'm going to ask for law students to represent me so I can file my writ of certiorari to the Supreme Court to expose the prison industry and the corruption in the courts. I'm going to name politicians, judges, lawyers, and everything that's in this minority report is going to be admitted in court. It's going to be part of my packet. Everything that Barbara Mikulski has is going to be submitted to the courts. It's part of my packet. All these tapes is going to be submitted. All those toilets, the toilet that WJZ got is going to be submitted as evidence. I'm ready for the battle. Y'all started this. We're going to finish this. The Constitution entitles me to my property, my intellectual property. It entitles me to an audit. I'm out $2.6 million in funds. I got sole proprietorship. I'm not a slave. I'm a free man. And I'm going to enjoy my rights under the Constitution as a free man. I want everything from WJZ, WBAL. I want to show the role that the media plays in misinformation. We're going to have everything on the table. Everything that's in that book, everything that I've done for the last 10 years is going to be admissible in court. It's going to be Dred Scott. I am Dred Scott. I am Gideon versus Wainwright. You got to give me a lawyer. You got to let me go to the courts. And I'm going to do this every day.